today we are going to show you guys how to conduct this experiment. So this experiment is Marcet boiler experiment. So what we need to know, the objective of this experiment is to determine the saturation pressure curve, and also to investigate between pressure and temperature of saturation steam in equilibrium with water. So next we move to the apparatus. So this apparatus consists of a rigid frame containing an insulated pressure vessel, which is boiler, and an instrumentation and control unit. So the frame has also extra space for optional VDSA interface. So VDSA stands for Virtual Data Acquisition System. And for the electrically, while the electrically heated boiler holds water, and as water temperature increase, so does the pressure inside the boiler. Also, a transducer and a thermocouple measure the boiler pressure and the temperature, and its temperature.
Okay, so before we start the experiment, we need to get ourselves familiar with the equipment we're going to use. So, the first thing is the water inlet port. This will ensure the water will flow into the boiler tank. And then there is 3 valves, valve 1, valve 2, valve 3. And how to know the valve is open or closed? If the valve is parallel with the pipe, it is open. And if it's not, it is considered closed. So next is the burden tube pressure gauge, the temperature sensor, and then the pressure relief valve. So this boiler tank can only handle 10 bar at maximum. So if it exceeds that, the pressure relief gauge will relieve some pressure. And then next is the temperature indicator and pressure indicator. The temperature indicator will show the result in degrees Celsius, while the pressure indicator will show the result in bar. And then there is the main switch, the heater switch, and the safety switch.
Okay, so after that we should fill in water inside the tank, which can be seen through the water level indicator, which is this one. So the water level should be more than half of the boiler tank, but not fully. This is to produce pressure inside the tank. So after making sure that the water level is more than half of the tank, we should close valve 1, valve 2, and let valve 3 open. This is to allow the steam to come out from this outlet, right? So after that, to start boiling process, the main switch should be turned on, and then the temperature indicator and pressure indicator should be checked. The temperature indicator should be around the surrounding temperature, and the pressure indicator should be around 1 bar. Right? So then after that, we switch on the heater switch.
Okay, after that, we observe the temperature in the boiler at the temperature indicator. When the water is heated, we let the steam from the boiler tank to come up from the valve V3 for about 30 seconds. After that, we close the valve V3 to let the pressure build up inside the boiler tank. After that, we observe the pressure reading at the pressure indicator. Pressure should rise when the temperature increase. So we record the temperature rise with a treatment of the pressure from 1 bar to 10 bar. After that, we switch off the heater switch.
Okay, let us jump into the cooling process, whereby the cooling process is started right after heating process. To start off with the cooling process, first of all, we need to turn off the heater switch, where this will cut off the boiling process and will cause the pressure and the temperature to drop. The pressure and temperature drops simultaneously and also gradually. This is because pressure and temperature are directly proportional. So we can start taking the measurement of the pressure and also the temperature up during the cooling process from 10 bar till 1 bar. That's all for the cooling process. Then I would like to go into the precaution steps, where precaution steps are started with the startup procedure. First, during startup, we need to insert water from the water source through the inlet into the tank. First of all, we need to ensure V1 and V2 is fully open, valve 1 and valve 2. And valve 3, it doesn't matter actually. If it's open, it doesn't matter. If it's closed, it is much more better. V1 and V2 must be fully open to make sure water enters the tank. When the water enters the Marcet boiler, keep an eye on the water level indicator, where the water level should be more than half of the tank. This is because we want water to boil and to form sufficient pressure inside. And it is also reminded that we must keep some room for the pressure to be formed inside, which means the water level should be more than half of the tank, but less than but not fully. Okay, so the next step during the heating process. During the heating process, first the valve 3 will be fully open. We need to constantly look at the temperature. When the temperature reaches 100 degrees Celsius, which is the boiling point of the water, the pressure starts to increase. When the pressure starts to increase, how we know that pressure starts to form? So in order to make sure that pressure already start to form, we need to see the valve 3, which is fully open, where steam will start to escape. When we see steam starts to escape, quickly close valve 3 and let the pressure to increase. Moving on to precaution for cooling process. During cooling process, which is right after the heating process, we must not open valve 3 right after the heating process. This is because the pressure inside the boiler tank is already fully developed till 10 bar, and it is considered as a high pressure. And when we open valve 3, there are two possibilities which will happen. One, explosion would happen, or number two, excess amount of steam will be released, causing the valve to damage.